How this Roblox tower defense game scammed everyone. We just experienced one of the worst Roblox game launches of all time, and that game's name is animeclash, and today we'll be finding out what went wrong with this game. Exhibit A, the days before launch. Even before the launch of animeclash, the developers decided it was a good idea to launch the game, but not in a release state, but basically make it to where you could sit in an AFK area until the game released. Mind you, this was a thing for over 24 hours. The game became super overhyped due to a trailer release from the developers showcasing what the game had to offer. I can't lie, if you actually sat in that lobby though, you might be an NPC. The developers of course were able to reap the benefits by premium payout farming literally every single person that had premium that stayed in the AFK lobby for an extended period of time. They promised to give people a mythic unit as well, just as long as they stay inside the lobby. Also, before release, there was some drama between the devs of the game and the owner of Pixel Peach, John Dale, who claimed that Rhodes, the owner of animeclash, supposedly stole code for the game. There's an entire document. John Dale also asked for 50% of the game when he was negotiating with the developers, which is insane, but he claims it was his idea first, so maybe that percent was rightfully his. Even the testers for the game reported major game-breaking bugs before release, but the owner decided to release anyway, knowing full well that the game was going to be a mess on launch. Exhibit B, my experience with animeclash release. So I streamed my entire experience of this game from the launch of the game to the closing of the game. When the game launched, they dropped codes of course for everyone who wanted to play. I used those codes and of course I had to get units, so I made my way over to the summoning. Decided to spend 90 Robux on gems and didn't receive anything. And that's when I knew that this game was a scam. No, literally I bought gems and I didn't get anything. Bro, guys, okay, maybe we shouldn't buy gems, bro. There was widespread data loss literally everywhere. People were spending thousands of Robux on gems and getting absolutely nothing in return. And the developers kept resetting the server, making people lose literally everything they spent for. Scamming thousands of people in less than 5 minutes of the game being up was absolutely sickening. And due to this, the player count just slowly dropped by the thousands as the game stayed up. But even the rates for units were bad. I was repeatedly getting Krillin and common units due to the game's obscenely bad rates. I'm sure they did this on purpose to get people to spend more and more money on the game. The damn GUIs didn't even work for the game, for crying out loud. But once you finally get into animeclash after waiting for 5 minutes on a loading screen because the game was severely unpolished, you are met with a field map that looks super unfinished and not at all polished. Then you are tasked with defeating 10 waves of enemies that are coming towards you. The game kind of reminded me of an off-brand version of Clash of Clans, but without the fun part. The main issue with the gameplay is the fact that when you deploy your units, they all went to one enemy, making them all single target. And then the units were so slow that the groups of enemies that weren't targeted would just run right past you, making the gameplay very non-intuitive or strategic. The move effects themselves for each unit were super unpolished, and you would get a blinding flash that would happen if you deployed Ichigo on the map. But majority of this game is just spamming unit placement and upgrading them immediately to max, and there is no strategy at all like in other tower defense games. You just watch as your units go to war in a very boring gameplay loop. But no, that's not all. I decided to allow my viewers to join the game with me as well. So we went into the game and it all went smoothly until out of nowhere everything froze, including me and my viewers' units and even the enemy units as well. Everything just broke all at once. We waited around for a few minutes for the game to readjust itself, but it never came to, and we had to literally leave the game. After that, however, we went in and did another one and somehow got through it without the game completely breaking. Then out of nowhere, the developers decided to close the game completely due to all the game breaking glitches and bugs that honestly made the game super unplayable. This of course caused an uproar since thousands of people wasted hours waiting in AFK world, hoping and praying that the game would come out and at least be playable, but to no avail. The game was just released entirely too early to capitalize off the hype and take money from everyone who was willing to buy game passes. Not to mention the developers lied about the game being a stress test shortly after the game was shut down to cover up for the fact that the game was literally unplayable for majority of its time being up, with them releasing codes that said release. There is absolutely no way the game was a stress test. Furthermore, the fact that they allowed you to even buy a 2x luck game pass during the AFK mode is literally insanity, and just goes to show you how scummy the developers truly are for this game. The developers had plenty of feedback from their testers, but still decided it was a good idea to release the game in the state that it was in, and it is truly very grimy, and I am so disappointed. Exhibit C, Why overhyping games is a terrible idea. If we want to be honest, the real reason Anime Clash went the way it did was due to the publicity the game had before release. The trailer was very misleading and didn't truly show anything about the game, and the sneaks that were shown were very fabricated animations that also misled people into thinking that the game was better than what it was. We as a community have to learn what is blind hype from what is actual facts when it comes to games on a platform. Let's also not forget about the YouTubers that made videos like this new Roblox anime tower defense game is better than animeadventures, which is an obvious lie but hyped up a community that was already desperately in need of a game. So yes, my fellow YouTubers again overhyped another game to its demise. When will they learn? The developers of Anime Clash themselves said that they weren't expecting that many numbers, but they boasted about how they were happy about thousands of people AFKing in their game while they laughed to the bank, and going as far as to saying the game would defeat John Dale in a lawsuit once the game blows up. If people would have actually made a proper judgment before blindly hopping into the game and buying stuff, then maybe the release wouldn't have went as bad as it did. The developers were aware of what would happen, of course, but they couldn't predict the amount of people that would eventually end up playing on release. Ever since the animeadventures game fam incident, players have been looking for something to play and sink hours into, just like with animeadventures. Anime Clash was looking to be that game, so I also suspect that a lot of animeadventures players were tricked at the sight of this game, hoping that it would be amazing. They got desperate and it led to them wasting their time and money on a game that wasn't even close to being finished. Exhibit D. The aftermath of Anime Clash. Now, Anime Clash has officially been content deleted. People are speculating that John Dale was behind this, the developer that accused the owners of Anime Clash of stealing the game and his ideas. He did state on Twitter that he would be taking legal action, so maybe that was the case here, as the game is not accessible to anyone right now. He also, days before the game's launch, threatened to uncover the truth by going to the courts, which is wild. Jameer, one of the main managers of the game, was officially fired from the project, which I assume was due to him rushing the game out although it was not ready. He went to Twitter and gave his thoughts in a very emotional manner.
It hurts because this is something that I've loved more than anything in my possible life. It's Roblox. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to... I don't interact with my family, bro. I just fucking love making and working on games.
The developers have also put out a statement stating that they will be working to bring the game back, but haven't said anything about compensation for any of the players, which is the real concern, since thousands of people lost money on the game, including me, not to mention the hours wasted. Just giving out codes won't be enough to erase this blemish in my opinion. They even said that they would bring the game back up, but not as a release, but the AFK chamber, further proving themselves as the money-hungry mongrels that they were the entire time. What have we learned from this? Well, we have learned that Roblox developers have a bad habit of lying and rushing games out in an unfinished states due to overhyping. Roblox players are either bored or have no lives as they sit in an AFK world for 24 hours straight for a mythic and a scam game. We learned that TechyOP is also an idiot for buying gems on a game that he knew was going to be terrible the whole time. But I digress. If you guys enjoyed this video and you like some more content like this one, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below your favorite part of the video and your experience with Anime Clash if you played it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.